Alright guys, my name is Rowlands and I'm a nutritional balancing practitioner, and in this video I'm going to talk about a few things you can do to speed up the progress, or things that are most important to speed up the progress. Now I know me and Luke have spoke about this before on some other videos, but I like the idea of revisiting videos and saying it differently, from a different angle, because I think sometimes when people hear things from, two times in different ways, it can help people a lot. But if you search our YouTube channel, Speeding Up Progress, you'll find other videos, and we're basically talking about the same thing. But I've added a couple onto this one that I think is also super important. So the first thing, the main thing, and usually the most obvious one, really, is the diet. The diet is so important, because without the diet you're not going to really get very far, and a lot of people don't really take the diet, well, no, a lot of people do take the diet seriously, but they don't realise how it can really seriously hold people back. Now the most important reason why that's the case is usually to do with sugars and carbohydrates. The thing is, the body really struggles to handle sugars and carbohydrates, and for the most part, most people have very extreme sensitivity to sugar and carbohydrates, even if they're not fully aware of it. And you can usually tell by looking at hair analysis, and the indicator is a high calcium-magnesium ratio. But in general, most people are severely affected by sugar these days. So anything like sweet or fruit or cake, or even carby vegetables sometimes, and too much carbohydrates that are actually allowed in the program, like blue corn chips, millet, etc. People overdo it, and it can really hold people back. So it's super important to just do the diet as well as possible, because that's going to push you forward a lot. In reality, without doing the diet, everything else that I'm going to explain in this video will not really work too well, because the body doesn't have a foundation to move forwards. Other important things is the diet regulates oxidation rate, and people need to be more aware of how important it is to balance out the oxidation rate. In many ways, that's one of our main aims in nutritional balancing, is to balance the oxidation rate. Balancing out the oxidation rate creates like a torque. It's the perfect balance for a human. It's a little bit like cars on a motorway, do you know what I mean? The perfect lane is basically in the middle, not too slow and things are sluggish and depressing, you can't keep up, and not too fast where everything's just going 100 miles an hour and everything's anxiety producing, etc. So balancing out your oxidation rate actually makes you move forwards really quick. And also this groundedness that the diet creates as well really helps with pushing people forwards. Now the second thing I want to talk about, and in many ways it's just as important as the diet, if not more important. Luke spoke about this on actually the last video, talking about how he thinks that Dr. Wilson's website should be more prominent in terms of talking about the pulling down exercise, and I do agree. Now the pulling down exercise is something that people can't really comprehend what it does, the power of what it does. And in simple terms, and it's quite esoteric, but the truth of the matter is that the universe is held together by this certain energy. You can call it love, you can call it God, you can call it prana, orgone energy, chi is something that we kind of use quite often. In quantum mechanics, it was actually found in quantum mechanics, it's called quantum mesh. It binds everything together, and it basically gives life to everything. It's like the water of the universe, and basically when you put this chi, life energy, life force, into any organism, whether it be a human, a fish, a plant, even the earth, the sun, it gives life to that organism. It basically, it's its fuel, it's its life energy. Without this energy, this life force, everything would die, everything would cease to exist. So you're starting to realise how incredibly powerful this energy is. It's the energy that fuels everything. And the pulling down exercise is basically the best way to bring more of that energy into the system. We're always trying to do that. We try and have high etheric foods. For example, onions is a big part of nutritional balancing, and that's a high etheric food. That's another name, ether. And basically, the more you can get this into the system, the better. So doing the pulling down exercise is a very, very focused way of pulling this energy into the body. We used to call it the pushing down exercise. Now we call it the pulling down exercise. Same thing, really. Again, I have got a video on YouTube called the pushing down exercise. The name changed after the video, so check that out. But doing the pulling down exercise for an hour, 2 hours every day is going to do tremendous things because it gives life to everything. It's going to heal you. It's going to remove toxic metals from the brain. It's going to calm down the body, calm down the mind, release traumas. It's a very, very special way of healing. So don't skip the pulling down exercise. The next one is rest. People need so important to rest. I can't stress this enough. I feel from my own personal journey, if I would have, and I rested a lot, but if I didn't realize how important rest was until maybe 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line of being in situations where I've had to force myself to rest. Always rest in many ways. I don't run around now like a headless chicken because I know that that's just not a healthy thing to do. Rest as much as possible, sleep as much as possible, chill out, meditate, do your enemas, do your saunas, go on relaxing walks. Forget this high intensity lifestyle, forget massive amounts of exercise, forget travelling here, there and everywhere. It's just not good for the body. It's just going to wear you down and it's just going to stop you from healing. So rest and sleep is super important. Okay, the next one, this is a lot for men, mainly for men, but it does apply to women as well, and it's limit sexual fluid loss. Now in men, sexual fluid is attached to life force, to chi energy, and the seminal fluid is extremely rich in things like zinc, and zinc is extremely low in people today. And whenever you release this sexual fluid, not only do you release a massive amount of life force and chi, but you release so much nutrients and so much zinc that the body really has to try hard to replenish that. It's a very mineral rich substance, and it's very high in etheric energy, and as soon as you let that go, that takes a long time to replenish. Believe me, I've so many mistakes in that area earlier on in the program, and it's challenging. We get brought up today being told that it's okay to do that. Luckily there's the no fap movement that's making a lot of moves forward on the internet and stuff, and I feel that's a really good step forward for people to understand this. The difficult thing really comes when you have a partner. So it's important that both partners are aware of the damage that this does. Every religion basically tells us to hold on to our sexual fluids. They realise how important it is to do that in order for spiritual development, and I can tell you now, it will 100% slow your development down. So for men, the first thing I would say is stop releasing this fluid without thinking about it. It's just ridiculous. If you're in a relationship, I understand that that's more difficult, but you've really got to speak to your partner about what happens and come to some sort of agreement whereby it doesn't happen all the time. In my opinion, you want to be doing it once every month, ideally. Dr. Wilson says once every week, but I don't think that's enough for people that are sick. People really have to hold on to it, or they're going to cause themselves some massive problems. And I added another one, and basically that is think for yourself and don't follow the crowd. Basically what this means is that the more that you follow fads and people and trends, you're just going to move away from your path, move away from yourself. You've got to be a maverick. You've got to think outside the box. You've got to move forwards in your own direction. Question everything. Think for yourself. Do what makes you happy. And that means changing pretty much every area of your life, and it being different to how general society live. You know, I don't have a 9 to 5 job. That's not normal. You know, my relationship isn't built on sex and looks and attraction and, you know, things like that. Like, that's different to how society is. The way that my house is set up is different. The way that I eat is different. The way that I think about exercise is different. You know, even my political views these days are different to the status quo. So you really need to think for yourself, and it's difficult because you need to know the truth. And I can tell you now that Dr. Wilson's website is extremely truthful, and hopefully our YouTube channel is the same, and it has helped me out tremendously over the years. So I would say focus on, you know, on the nutritional balancing program, and just really have courage and commitment to yourself to just do your own thing and think for yourself. Alright guys, so that's everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to start a nutritional balancing program or a development program, please email me, lewis@deephealingspace.com, LEWIS. If you want to give me a call, no problem. My number is +44 7961 805 129. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.